Hello everyone, welcome back to Cambridge Group. In the last video, we did currency conversion. In this video, we'll talk about profit and loss. So what is a profit and what is a loss? So it says foodstuffs and manufactured goods are produced at a cost which is known as the cost price, and they are sold at a selling price. If the selling price is greater than the cost price, a profit is made. And it is not just true for any food stuff or any article, and we might face some situations, we have faced some situations in our real life when we have purchased certain thing and now we are selling that thing. If the selling price is greater than the cost price that we have purchased, then we say that we are making a profit. And if the selling price is less than the cost price, then we say that we have made a loss, right? So what is a profit and what is a loss? So in simple language, we say that the profit is selling price denoted by SP minus cost price denoted by CP. And whenever we have to find out, and similarly, loss in this case will be, since the loss is when the selling price is lower than the cost price, we say that we subtract from the cost price the selling price. There is no difference as such between subtracting SP from CP or from CP from SP. So normally we take SP minus CP both for profit and loss percentage. Why I'm saying this? Suppose you have make a loss. Suppose you have purchased a certain item whose selling cost price is, let us say, 100 and selling price is 80. So if I say that what is the loss or find out the profit or loss, right? We do not know whether you have made a profit or loss. So you use the same simple formula SP minus CP for the profit. Okay. So for this, profit will obviously come out to be negative. This is minus 20. Okay. Now, if profit is coming out to be negative, then we say that you are making a loss. And if profit is positive, we say you are making a profit. Okay, so simple, no need to mug up different formulas for CP or SP or for profit and loss. Simple, we will subtract cost price from selling price. If that difference is positive, we say we have made a profit, and if that is negative, we say we have made a loss, right? Now on the same line, we will use the same single formula for finding out what is called as the profit percentage or loss percentage, right? Now, as far as profit percentage and loss percentage is concerned, the basic concepts of percentage increase or decrease must be kept in the mind. So what is a percentage increase or decrease? We say that percentage increase is final value of certain item or anything minus initial value. This percentage increase or decrease will always be calculated on the initial value, meaning as a percentage of the initial value. Suppose there is certain thing, let us say a person's height is 180 centimeter and 10 years ago his or her height is let us say 150 centimeter. So find out the increase in the height as a percentage. What is the percentage increase? So obviously the height is increased from 150 to 100 in the past 10 years. So we will compare this increase with the initial value, which was 150, not as a percentage of the final value, because that final value has just become now. So there is no point of asking the percentage increase as a percentage of final value, right? So always keep this in mind, percentage increase. And similarly for decrease, I will use the same formula, which is final value minus initial value of certain thing divided by only the initial value, both for increase and decrease. If this comes out to be negative, we say that the percentage increase is negative, meaning you have made a percentage decrease. Same is the case with the profit and loss percentage. So there is nothing new about the profit or loss formula, percentage formula. So profit percentage or loss percentage is given by what is the final value as far as CP and SP is concerned, that you have purchased certain thing at a certain cost. This is your initial value, which we say that is the cost price, and final value is the selling price, right? So in place of final value, we write selling price. In the initial value, we write cost price. And as I said, the percentage increase or decrease in profit and loss that will also always be calculated on the initial value, which is the cost price, and obviously into 100 we have here, right? So this is a formula for profit, percentage profit or percentage loss. Okay, and yes, also there is something which is called the multiplier. You must keep this multiplier concept also in mind, because this we will use in compound interest also, which is our next topic. So what is the case for multiplier? Let us say the item cost is CP of an item is, let us say $100. Okay, and selling price, no, not the selling price, I am giving you the profit percentage, that you have made a profit of 20%, and if we have to find out the selling price, okay, obviously since the cost price is 100, so you can just by simple logic find out the final answer. But here we are not interested in the value, we are interested in the concept of multiplier. So how directly you can find out the final value? So if you rearrange the term of the profit percentage or the percentage increase decrease formula, you will get the final value. Okay, let us see that if the profit, let us say that the initial price is 100 and final value will be the increased value of this. Okay, so if I find out the 20% of cost price, 20% of the cost price, which is 100. Okay, 20% of the cost price, which is 100. Now if I take the, this is your selling price, final value. If I take 100 as a common factor, I will say it is 1 plus 20 by 100, which is 0.2. This is your selling price. Meaning is your final value selling price is 100 multiplied by a value which is 1.2, right? So we had the initial cost as 100, this 100 is written here, and this is multiplied by 1 plus 20%, which is 1.2. So instead of doing these type of calculation, we just use the concept of multiplier, that if the percentage is 20%, multiplier will be 1.2. So you just multiply this by, you get the final value as 120, right? Now if let cost price is 80, let us say, and percentage profit is 30%. Now it's difficult to find out the 30% of 80, that will come in fraction, but here I am interested again in finding out the selling price, final value. So again, if the percentage profit is 30, so in this case you will find out separately the 80% and 30% of 80, taking the 80 as a common factor, right? 80 plus 30% of 80, and then taking 80 as a common factor. So again you will get in bracket, which is 1 plus 0.3. This 0.3 is for 30%, and when we add this 0.3 to 1, we get 80 into 1.3. So just multiply this 1.3 with 80 or 13 by 8, which is I think 104, right? So this is your selling price. So no need to find out 80 plus 30% of 80, you can skip these steps. This can also be skipped, so directly you can write this by using the concept of multiplier, right? So let us take another example, that if, let us say cost price is 70 and percentage profit is 15%. So pause the video and just take 1 or 2 seconds and think about the multiplier. So in this case, multiplier will be 1.15, 15%. So we divide 15 by 100 and add that to 1, that becomes 1.15, right? So again, just multiply 70 by 1.15, you will get the final selling price. Now what is the case if we make a loss? So let us say CP is 80 and you have made a loss percentage of, let us say again 20%. Okay, now in this case, since we are making a loss, so final value will be decreased value of the initial value, right? So if you find out again the 20% of 80, here we will find out again 20% of 80, but that will be subtracted from 80 rather than adding that percentage to 80. So for loss, what we do is, if we have to find out the selling price, so we will subtract the loss percentage, which is 20% of 80, from the cost price 80. So here again we can take out the common factor as 80, and instead of writing 1 plus, we'll write 1 minus 20%, which is 0.2. So here the cost price again will be multiplied by this time 0.8. So in this case 0.8 is our multiplier. Now here's a summary. If you have an initial value and that value has been increased by, let us say, R%. So what you do is and we have to find out the final value. So final value will be equal to initial value multiplied by the multiplier. So if, let us say, the percentage is 20%, it is increase, so we will multiply by 1.2. If the percentage increase is 42%, then multiplier will be 1.42. If the percentage increase is 5%, in this case multiplier will be 1.05. It won't be 0.5. 0.5 will be 50%, right? And in case of decrease, if you are making a loss, so final value will be initial value multiplied by 1 minus, let us say, loss percentage 20%. So we will subtract the percentage from 1. So 1 minus 20%, for example, multiplier will be 0.8, right? If the percentage loss is 15%, so multiplier in this case will be 0.85, and so on. I think that's enough. Whatever I've explained as far as percentage increase, decrease, or profit loss percentage is concerned, right? So now, without wasting more time on these tidy explanation, let us move directly to the examples. So what is our first example here is, a market trader buys oranges in boxes of 12 dozen for $14.4 per box. Cost of $14.4 is given per box, and in a single box we have 12 dozens of oranges, right? So 1 dozen of orange, 1 dozen meaning we have 12 oranges, and in a single box we have 12 into 12 number of oranges, which is 144. I think this is the answer, not answer, this is the method that we will follow. Now he buys 3 boxes, right, and sells all the oranges for 12 cents each. Now how this question is different or a bit higher, as you have higher compared to the previous classes, that the selling price is given for a single orange and cost price is given for the 144 oranges. Okay, so what is his profit or loss? There are 2 ways. Either you convert each cost price of each orange, find the answer in cents, or you find out the selling price of all the oranges. The selling price is given per orange, so you find out the selling price of all the oranges in the 3 boxes and then compare with this 14.4 per box. And this is exactly what we are going to do. Okay, so I am finding out, first of all, cost price of 3 boxes, because the trader is buying 3 boxes. Okay, so cost price of 3 boxes will be equal to 3 multiplied by 14.4. This is $43.2. Okay, this is $43.2. Now selling price is rather more complicated. So he buys 3 boxes and sells all the oranges for 12 cents each. So we'll find out the selling price, or not selling price. Before that, we will find out the number of oranges. So number of oranges in 3 boxes. This will be equal to, first find out number of oranges in a single box, which is 12 into 12, because we have 12 dozens in a box. So these are the number of oranges in a single box, and then multiply this by 3. So these are the number of boxes or number of oranges in 3 boxes, which is 12 into 12 into 3 is 432. This is 432 what number of oranges. Okay. Selling price of 3 boxes now. If I'm saying selling price of 3 boxes, meaning is I'm saying selling price of 432 oranges, and selling price of 1 orange is 12, so that will be selling price of the 3 boxes will be 432 multiplied by 12 cents, meaning is $0.12. Okay, so this is giving me $51.84. Okay, this is giving me the $51.84. Now we have selling price of 3 boxes, we have cost price of 3 boxes, so obviously selling price is greater than cost price. So what is our profit? This is 51.84 minus 43.2. This is 8.64. So $8.64 is the final answer. Fine. Okay. Next question. I would recommend that you pause for each question. You should pause the video, try on your own, and then compare the answer. Okay. So a shopkeeper buys 72 bars of chocolate for $5.6. What is his profit if he sells them for 12 cents each? Now it is again kind of the same type of question as we did earlier. So we have been given the selling price of 12 of each bar. So we will find out selling price of 72 bars. This is equal to 0.12 because it is given in cents. So number of dollars is 0.12 multiplied by 72. So 0.12 multiplied by 72 is $8.64. This is SP. Obviously it is greater than CP. So again we have a profit, which is 8.64 minus 5.76. This is 2.88. Okay, very easy. Moving on. Now sometimes during sales or sometime during promotions, the selling price is reduced. This is known as a discount. So one thing we should keep in our mind, that discount is always calculated on the marked price. There are 3 types of prices. One is a cost price, right? The cost at which certain item is bought. Second is the selling price, which is the actual selling price, and between these two there is a marked price. Sometimes the sales during sales, these brands, they give you some discount. Okay, so that discount is offered on the marked price. So what they do is they increase the price and label the increased price on the item. Suppose an item is costing $1,000, so they increase the price and they mark that price. Let us say the increased price is $1,500 or $1,200, and then they offer the discount on that 1,200 or the 1,500, which is the marked price. So discount is offered on the marked price, and it is not always that the shopkeepers or these brands, they increase the marked price compared to the cost price, right? Sometimes marked price can be equal to cost price also. It depends on the honesty of the brand. So leaving that apart, the controversial thing, we just stick to our mathematics. So in a sale, a skirt usually costing $35 is sold at a 15% discount. What is the discount? Okay, so it is just asking the 15% of 35. Okay, whatever is the answer. 0.15 into 35 is 5.25. So 5.25. This is the discount, right? It might have asked you find out the actual selling price. So you just subtract 5.25 from 35, which is 29 point. You can say actual selling price is $29.75. Okay, so now profit or loss will be calculated on this much. That this is the selling price, this is the cost price. Now what is the profit or loss? Okay, moving on to the next one. It says that a car is priced at $7,200. The car dealers allows a customer to pay a 1/3 deposit, meaning the dealer is giving some scheme in which the customer can pay part payments. What are these? One part can be that the customer can pay a 1/3 deposit of the price of the car, and the rest can be given with 12 payments of $420 per month. Not rest meaning not the actual amount that is remaining, but that depends on the scheme that the dealer is giving you. Okay, so $420 per month, you have to make these 12 equal installments plus 1/3 of the price you can deposit as a cash. So it is asking how much extra does the customer has to pay. Obviously, since the scheme is for the benefit of the customer, right, it might be possible that a customer do not have $7,200 in cash, right? So they are with the scheme, the dealers they give to the customer. So for the solution, what we have is first we will find out the 1/3 of 7,200, which is the part payment. This is obviously $2,400. So this is the initial cash. Then he has to make $420 installment for 12 months, right? So the amount paid in installments is 12 multiplied by 420. This is giving me 5040. So this is the amount after 12 installments, and this is the initial amount in cash. So total amount or total cost of the car will be, we are talking with respect to the customer. So this is 5040 plus 2400. So this is $7,440, and as you can compare this with the initial cost of the car, which is 7,200. So the extra amount will be paid is equal to 7,440 minus 7,200. This is $240. Fine. Next. And in the same question, they can ask for the profit and loss. Okay, or percentage increase and decrease, or find out the amount in percentage the customer has to pay extra of the initial amount of the car. Okay, so it can ask for the percentage of 7,200. So what percentage is 240 of 7,200? Okay. Next, a woman buys a car for $7,500 and sells it 2 years later for $4,500. Calculate her loss over 2 years as a percentage of the cost price, right? If it is not mentioned, then also, as I told you, that we always find out the loss or profit percentage with respect to the cost price. Okay, so this is CP, which is 7,500, SP is 4,500. So percentage loss will be there, right? So I'm using the second formula to get the things positive, that I will subtract SP from CP. So 7,500 minus 4,500, but it is always calculated on CP, no matter it is greater than selling price into 100. Okay, so this is 3000 over 75,000 into 100. This comes out to be 70, 25, 3, 75, 4. This is 10, so 40%. Okay, so loss is 40%. Big loss. Next, in a sale, the cost of a quote is reduced from 85 to 67.5. Calculate the percentage reduction in the cost of the quote. Okay, now this time initial value is 85, final value is 67.5. So percentage reduction is equal to final value minus initial value. This will come out to be negative since we have used the word as reduction. So this reduction has to be positive. We can subtract from 85, just like we subtract selling price from cost price if you are making a loss. So, but if you are using the same formula, final value minus initial value, this numerator will come out to be negative. So you must understand, you must remove the sign, negative sign, okay, just to make reduction as positive. If reduction is negative, that becomes positive. Keep this in mind, right? And in the denominator, we always take the initial value, which was 85 into 100. So this is 12.5 over 85 into 100. So here we have 14.705 and so on. 14.71 you can say up to 2 dp. Percentage reduction. Fine. So I think this is it as far as profit loss is concerned. Next topic, we will see what is simple interest and compound interest. Till then, bye bye, take care, and please like the video and mention in the comment section any doubt, any topic you need to discuss further, and please do mention in the comments. Okay, bye, thank you.